Okay, so let's do this one. So it says, Jaden left her cabin at Waskesiu Lake in Saskatchewan and paddled her kayak toward her friend Tyrell's cabin at an average speed of 4 kilometers an hour. Tyrell started at his cabin at the same time and paddled at an average speed of 2.4 kilometers an hour toward Jaden's cabin. The cabins are 6 kilometers apart. A linear system that could model this situation is, so they've actually given it to us. We're later on going to have to write these for ourselves, but they've just given us this one. Where D is the distance from Tyrell's cabin, and T is the time after both people started their journeys. When do Jade and Tyrell meet, and how far are they from Tyrell's cabin at that time? Okay, so when do they meet? Well, that's asking for time, right? So we're really looking for this one. This really is like our x value from above, right? So it's asking for x's, and it's asking for d's. So when they meet, I get the idea is that our x value, right? Our x value and y value would be the same. We're really going to graph these lines, and we want to figure out where they intersect. And the x value is really going to be our t value, and our y value is really going to be our d value, right? So let's graph this one. So again, if you graph this, if you guys hadn't, if you have a TI Nspire, go watch the other video that I just put up there first, maybe, and jump back into this one, and then you can do it with us. Okay, so now let's go back here. So now we want to graph this thing. So I'm gonna go back to my y is equal to, and I'm just gonna clear these ones out. So you can just push clear, go down to the other one, and push clear, and then type this in. So now this one is D and T, right? But on my calculator, it wants X's and Y's. That's fine. Just imagine that, you know, your T is an X. So we can type it in just like this. We don't even need to actually write it in the Y is equal to MX plus B form. I can type it in as 6 minus 4 X. Okay, and that should be good. And then I'm going to go down to the next one, and we're going to have 2.4 X. And let's see if we can figure out where these things cross. So now I'm going to go graph. Wait a second for them to draw. All right, so we should be pretty good to go there. So now that we have that, made it a little bigger there so we can kind of see what we're doing a little bit better now. Yeah, so we want to figure out where those lines cross, right? Because that's going to tell us our information. So let's go into our calculation, right? So that's going to be that second calc up there. So second, and then calc, which is the trace button. Okay, and then I'm going to go down to intersect, right? So like I said, you can either go down to intersect or just push 5. Oop. And so down and then enter if you like, either one. So now again, it's asking us first curve and second curve. So I'm going to go over to just closer to it. Doesn't matter though. And then enter. And now it's asking second curve. Well, now do you see how it's on the red one there now? I'm going to say, yep, that's the second curve. And it's saying take a guess. I'm going to say, yes, please do take a guess. And then there is my intersection. So this is one where the calculator is really nice, right? Because that's kind of like, you know, those aren't so nice in numbers there, right? So our answer here is going to be 0.94 for my x. So 0.94, just rounding it, comma, and then 2.25. Okay. Now that's okay if we don't actually graph this one, making our labels and everything. I think just for the sake of time, we'd be okay with this, right? We could make like a little bit of a sketch, right? Even like if you made like another little Cartesian plane over here, like it doesn't need to be exact all the time, where we just kind of sketch this thing out lightly. So we can say, okay, we got one line that goes down here, and we got our other line that goes up here, and they cross at this point, right? Okay, so remember, this was an x value, and that was a y value. But in the context of this question, this was really a t value, and this was really a d value, right? And they were wondering, when do Jaden and Tyrell meet? Okay, so they meet 0.94, and then whatever our units were, right? So it was in hours. This was kilometers per hour. So 0.94 hours after they left. So, yeah, they were... Or sorry, they meet 0.94 hours after they left. Okay. And then the next one, how far... what did it say? How far are they from Tyrell's cabin at that time? They are 2.25, and then just remember what we're dealing with here, 2.25 kilometers, right? Because we were dealing in kilometers and hours because we were going kilometers an hour. Okay, so they're 2.25 kilometers from Tyrell's cabin. From the cabin. All right, that's the idea.